you did? How was?
Good. It was they opened the esports arena.
Oh, good.
Your fellow Frank Julie was there.
Yep.
There are no lights in there. Sí. María. Wow. Acaba de salir del trabajo. Sí, ya. Eso de las muelas es. Bueno, es cierto, porque do they have a minute? Is there something? Which will have question, yes or no, and then we have an open-ended question.
Slowly, slowly. Show us outside.
Do I have time for openings or just let her fly? Like to have like a welcome introduction. Hi everybody. How much do you have? So if Joe is here,
Then I might extend it.
then we do that 2 minutes.
Yeah, let me double check that. I think so, yeah. I'm just gonna have
How are you?
Vanna move over a little bit.
Oh, Adam, how are you? Good to see you. So is this going to drink it in Tingsboro too?
So we'll be going sure to Tingsboro. Drake was going to try and take it, but we had a whole bunch of stuff going on. So
Yeah.
I think we got it all figured out like really last minute. So it's been nice to have it in multiple places.
Yeah. Good stuff. Live or recorded? Live?
Nice. I like that. So you say
Hi, how are you? So, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you too.
you'll be the firefighter?
Yeah. We're in the background. And then I'll see if they have any extra questions. If there's time, we can grab those and bring them. Okay?
Okay.
And Liz is going to be sitting in the front, and she's going to be holding the times for them to see, okay?
Perfect.
The only thing that we have about actually for 3 minutes
Do you know my remarks?
Oh. Gotta wear the suit.
No, I haven't seen you.
Oh, you want their names too? Wait.
How long is the opening? How long is the opening statement? Is that 4 minutes opening? 4? Wow.
We have you for 90 minutes. You want to take.
And then you can let them know that Liz will sit in the front, will be holding signs so that they have to pay attention for their minutes. When it's stop, it's stop. Okay?
you like some holes to keep your throat?
Never know.
Gets dry. Would you like the candy to keep your throat?
Oh, thank you so
I
much.
know when we talk, we usually get dry. So. There's gonna be some more here.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes. You're the timekeeper. Yeah.
Uh,
See? Tingnan. Ano yun? Kunin lang kahit.
Woo. Ready for the snow? Ready for the snow coming?
no,
Oh my gosh. A foot. Maybe a
no,
foot.
I just am not.
Yeah.
I don't have a big driveway, but I'm just tired of shoveling.
This is what I appreciate living, you know, in a condo. We don't have to clear the snow.
Yeah. No, that's
so,
true.
Yeah, I know. We had an 80-foot driveway at our first home. That was tough.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And before that, in the Belvedere, it was all, half of it. Yeah.
Oh, before Tewksbury was Belvedere?
Yeah, our first home was in Belvedere, right between the Rowley and the Sullivan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna put a little bit of a damper on any door knocking, that's for sure. Probably better that Joe doesn't participate. He just wants to throw bombs anyway. So why is he here then? Oh well. Good.
excited. Keep me posted with the time because I like to go on a plane as well.
Please write down your name. Just want to get it right. You just pronounce it Vanna?
Vana. Vana. It's
Vanna.
fine.
No, no. How do you like it?
Vana.
Vanna. Okay. Good.
Vanna.
Do it like this. No, you just want to get it right. You know.
Thank you.
No, just
Thank
close
you.
it.
Thank you.
1 minute. Thank you. Y ahora vamos a empezar. All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Diego Leonardo from the Latinx Center. It is a true honor to welcome you all tonight. This event, it's a powerful example of what happens when we work together. I would like to open by saying a special thank you to Lowell Votes Coalition and CVA for their incredible work in putting this forum together. Your commitment to civic engagement and voter education is what keeps our local democracy healthy and vibrant. I also want to especially recognize the leadership from the CVA board who are joining us this evening: Paul Godet, Amada Gregory, and Elkin Montoya. Thank you all for your dedication to the mission of CVA and supporting the space for dialogue. I also like to say special thanks to LTC for putting this together. This is recording live. We're also being streamed by Drake and Thingsboro. So special thanks for their media to making this dialogue available. I would like to start with, we are here gathering because we believe that democracy is the local tradition. It's about the streets we walk, on the neighbors we look out for. At the Latinx Center, we believe that community isn't just a place on a map, it is commitment we make to one another. There is one quote that captures our purpose tonight. Democracy is not just a math equation of votes, it is the heartbeat of a neighborhood. It thrives only when we replace we with me and me with we, and when respect for our neighbors become the foundation of our shared future. In a world that we can often feel divided, tonight we chose to focus on what binds us. We are here to listen, to learn, and to remain united by our shared humanity. To the candidates on stage, thank you for your willingness to serve. We ask that tonight's dialogues be guided by the values of integrity and mutual respect. To our audience, your presence here is an act of leadership. By showing up, you're providing that Lowell is engaged and that every voice in our neighborhood matters. We're here to hear solutions and to strengthen the fabric of our city. So let us begin with our opening minds. Let's remember that after the polls close, the signs come down, we're still neighbors. It's now my privilege to introduce our moderators, Loli, and myself. So thank you, and let's get it going. So first of all, I want to introduce what the first Middlesex district looks like. So it's not just the little bird that we have in Lowell, but it's beyond what we have. So we're covering the areas of Lowell, Dracut, Dunstable, Pepperell, and Tyngsboro. I would like to start with the opening statements. Each candidate has 4 minutes. So tell us why are you running and give us one thing that you have done and are proud as a state elected official that has helped Lowell families. So please, who would like to start?
Go by last name or first name?
Vanna, please, can you give us the honors to start?
Okay, well, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you to CBA. Thank you to all the partners, Lowell Votes, the Merrimack Valley Project, LTC, the Lowell Sun, and you, the audience. Thank you so much for participating in democracy. This is what democracy looks like, that we engage in civic engagement like this. So thank you to our moderators. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Vanna Howard. I reside in downtown Lowell with my family, my husband, my 2 children, son and daughter, Susanna and Max, and my 2 dogs, Ming Ming and Ziggy. Don't forget them, they're members of the family. And so, as many of you know, I came here at 11 after surviving the killing fields. I lost my father, 3 siblings. I watched my father being taken away from me, in front of me, and before my eyes, and my grandparents. When my mom arrived here, it wasn't easy. I faced homelessness, hunger, and domestic violence. But this community lifted me up and helped my family survive. And this is who I am and why I chose public service. This is my life. I have served as your steward of the public good, committed to serving the best interests. My experience, my jobs have always been to help people. My work at the district attorney's office, work at Congresswoman Nikki Saunders' office, which include all the 4 towns and the city of Lowell, and the Lowell Community Health Center. I've also volunteered with various nonprofits, more than 50 nonprofits in the city of Lowell, but also outside the city of Lowell. My lived background has always been about helping people and making positive change. As a state representative, I have secured millions of dollars for education and family, for public, for mental health and substance use treatment, for small businesses, for also for our infrastructure, like police and public parks. And also the reason why I chose public service, because what I experienced, what I lived, is because of all the people that were there to support me and my family. So my life, that is the purpose. It's always the purpose to make things better for others. And that's why, whether my title is a state rep or a state senator, I just want to help others. And that is really has been my life. I have dedicated my life to giving back, to make life a better for everyone in the community, our families, our children, and our communities. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Rep. Howard.
Thank you, and good evening. Thank you, everyone, for braving the cold weather to come out. This is really a great turnout. Thank you to CBA and all the other organizations that have participated. Maybe we can just make an announcement. There's also a warming center that the city set up today. I'm not sure how. They just did it today and with UMass Lowell, so maybe we can get the word out to let people know that they can go there. But my name's Rodney Elliott. I'm running for the state senate. I'm passionate about public service. I've been doing it this is my 28th year. not only serving in elective office, but also on nonprofit boards and, trying to make this community a better place. I'm passionate about delivering results and meaningful change for the hardworking people of the First Middlesex, Lowell, Drake, Tingsboro, Dunstable, Pepperell. We're living in a time where people want honesty. They want someone who will show up, who will listen, and who will take action. That's essentially what I've done my entire life. Building safe, inclusive, and sustainable communities where everybody has a fair chance to thrive. I've always believed in lasting positive change starts at the local and the state level, where decisions we make truly affect daily lives. That's why I've dedicated my career to public service as a city councilor, as a mayor, and as a state representative. And I spent 42 years in my professional career at the state level, the federal level, the city level, and even the towns. Every step along the way, I've focused on being an effective, responsive, and accountable to the people that I serve. And constituent service is always priority number one. My standards are high. I want every resident to feel that their state government, their local government is not just visible, but it's working for them. Making sure our communities, women, our trade workers, teachers, nurses, public safety, LGBTQ, our young people all have a respected voice on Beacon Hill. I'd say, one of my, you asked for one of our accomplishments, something that we've done that'll help this community, is I helped pass the Economic Development Bond Bill, a major statewide investment into the creation of clean energy, workforce training, business growth. I secured $1.6 million in earmarks for direct funding right here in the district for urban agriculture at Raleigh's Farm, storefront improvements, youth leadership programs, ADA compliant renovations, community space, and more. These aren't promises, these are results. And they reflect what I believe an effective legislator is supposed to be: accountability and action. And as a father of 2 nurses, longtime girls sports coach, and someone who's always been surrounded by strong, hardworking women, I understand how important it is to protect women's rights, access to care, strengthen the workforce that upholds our healthcare system that we need to fix. I think it's important when we succeed when we all listen to each other and build solutions together. I thank you for your consideration. Look forward to further discussion. And thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right, so now in the spirit of the Golden Gloves, we like to get the rounds. We're going to get into a round of questions, the yes or no. So you have your paddles right there. You can raise it yes or no. We are going to have 3 minutes for the open-ended questions. So each of you have 3 minutes to reply for the open-ended questions. So let's get it started. The first round for yes or no is, do you support rent stabilization? Before I finish asking the question, let me tell to the public what rent stabilization is. It's a cap on increased annual rent hikes that will be limited to the CPI or 5%, whichever is lower. The coverage is the law that would apply to most residential units, though it excludes owner-occupied buildings with 4 or fewer units and units less than 10 years old. So now the question goes, do you support rent stabilization? Yes or no? All right. Thank you so much. Next question. Do you support the Safe Communities Act? This Safe Communities Act limits the ICE collaboration, due process rights, and prohibits 287G agreements. Do you support the Safe Communities Act? Yes or no? All right. So now the punch starts. The open-ended question starts like this. Economic impact and creative ecosystems. If elected, what specific policies or investments would you support to strengthen the creative economy, both statewide and here in Lowell? Let me repeat that question again. If elected, what specific policies or investments will you support to strengthen the creative economy, both statewide and here in Lowell? Each of you have 3 minutes. Madam Representative Howard,
Oh,
would you like to start?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. My first action, if I should be honored to be your state senator, I would introduce legislation because this is economic development. This is for the economy, and this affects, so to make redevelopment of the former Indian Conference Center a reality, benefiting Middlesex Community College students and the economy of this area. So not just students from this area, but students from the other 4 towns, Dracut, Dunstable, Tingsboro, and Pepperell, and outside of the greater Lowell area, because the space at the Indian Conference Center is ripe to make sure that redevelop that area for economic development, for our economy, but for economic development, and in partnership with UMass Lowell, with so not just Middlesex Community College, but UMass Lowell. As we all know, UMass Lowell has the highest. There is a wait list for our students to come to UMass Lowell. It's a public university. And it's the most, it's a POPs university, and I'm a product of a public education. And so with the partnership of UMass Lowell, with the partnership of Middlesex Community College, making sure that Indian Conference are redeveloped into to benefit our students and Middlesex, but outside of the Merrimack Valley. So that would be something that I would like to introduce should I was successful in becoming the state's senator.
Thank you, Representative Howard. Rodney Elliott,
Could you repeat just the question real quick?
Yes. If elected, what specific policies or investments would you support to strengthen the creative economy, both statewide and here in Lowell?
So it's unfortunate that this administration has put a complete halt to offshore wind. You know, I believe we're faced with affordability, and that's the number one issue that we're, that we need to deal with. We heard the governor speak about it last night and various policies. We're making progress on housing, but I believe green energy is, we were on a track to diversify our energy needs. We know we're going to see an increase with AI and these data centers. So I think that we need to continue to move in a direction where we develop. We just brought the Canadian hydropower online. That's going to save millions. It's going to save millions of dollars, and it's also going to allow us to not rely so much on fossil fuels and other sources of energy. So I would file legislation that would allow us, and I know it's a federal issue, but whether we sue the federal government or we file legislation to allow us to proceed with with the offshore wind, that green energy that we desperately need. There were thousands of jobs that we lost as a result of that. There's millions of dollars of equipment, and it's all sitting down on a dock down on the South Shore. So I think that's an important aspect that we need to look at, and that balance will bring much needed energy that we need to also to achieve our climate goals. So I think green energy is an important element that we need to focus on.
Right. Thank you so much. Before we get to the second round, I would like to thank Liz from Lowell Alliance for being our lovely timekeeper and keeping us on time tonight. So round 2, yes or no questions. So get your paddles back on, and we're going to start with the first question. Do you support the RAFT, Rental Assistance for Families in Transition program? Yes or no? Thank you. Question number 2. Do you believe the state should supplement the funds needed to ensure SNAP is available to immigrants? Yes or no? All right, thank you so much. I still don't see blood, so let's ask this question. As BTA priority, the city of Lowell has seen many small businesses close or move over the last few years. So with this in mind, how would you work to support small businesses' technical assistance to stabilize and grow these businesses? Let me repeat the question. How would you work to support small businesses' technical assistance to stabilize and grow these businesses? So, Rep. Elliott, would you like to start?
I know that the city does a pretty good job working in conjunction with the Lowell Plan and identifying funding for things like, pop-up storefronts, where in potential small business owners, they don't have to make the whole, the major investment. They can start with a certain, a certain number of square feet and develop their business, and as the business grows, expand further. I think, we support small business loans. You have to provide incentives to attract businesses to come into the downtown, and we certainly supported that at the state level, and I will continue to do that if elected to the state senate.
Thank you.
The same
Rep. Howard,
question, okay.
How would you work to support small businesses' technical assistance to stabilize and grow these businesses?
Small businesses, very important. They are the backbone of this community, especially in the city of Lowell. For the city of Lowell alone, for 2 budget sessions, I have secured $200,000 for the project pop-ups to help our small businesses, to help our creative economy. So if I was honored to become, to be a state senator, I will continue to make sure that I will request the funding again to continue to help project pop-ups in downtown. You have seen project pop-ups, so I was fortunate to work with leadership and with the city of Lowell, with City Manager Golden. That was the city's, one of the city priorities about project pop-ups. So I was fortunate to be able to secure $200,000 2 years in a row for our small businesses in downtown.
All right, thank you so much. We move into the next round of yes or no questions. So let me give you a little bit of context about this question. Healthy Homes Program is a program that aims to address substandard housing by providing financial assistance, including grants and loans for lead, asbestos, mold, and pest remediation. It targets low to moderate income owners, occupants, and small landlords. Focus on improving indoor and air quality and safety. Do you support the Healthy Homes Program? Yes or no? All right, thank you. Next question. Do you think that the ICC should be open regularly during winter and summer, not just during extreme weather events? Yes or no? Thank you. Now we go back to the open-ended questions. Each of you have 3 minutes to reply. And we're going to ask workforce development priority. So the question goes like this. How would you expand opportunities for job training, ESOL, and adult education across the district? Again, how would you expand opportunities for job training, ESOL, and adult education across the district?
What's ESOL mean?
English as a second language. Thank you. So Rep. Howard, would you give us the honors to start?
Sure. Here in the city of Lowell, we work with partnership with not just the city of Lowell, but also with the Career Center, Mass Hire, right in downtown, but also with the city manager, with the executive office of labor, to make sure that our workforce, especially for our youth, that, so we have in the budget for our youth to always have jobs in the summer, the guaranteed jobs. So that's workforce for our youth, but not just for adults. So between all the partnership with the city, with the state, and with the Mass Hire in Lowell here, we make sure that our workforce is strong and continue to be strong to support our workforce because without jobs, there is, you need jobs. In order to live, in order to survive, in order to pay rent, in order to pay utilities. And so, but also to help a workforce to make sure that they're adequate and equitable initiatives for folks who speak English as a second language as well. So to have workforce that geared towards folks that English is their second language, to have that job training, to make sure that they have adequate and equitable job training, job workforce for our non-English speakers who are speaking English as a second language, but also adult education is very important. Folks that came to this country, English is not their first language, and learning the English, learning the culture, and so to make sure that adult education, ESOL, and adult and youth workforce with all the partners come together in order to make sure that everyone has a safe, affordable living here, not just here in the city of Lowell, but out in the greater Lowell as well.
Thank you so much. Representative Elliott?
Yes, thank you. So I think that Lowell has one of the best adult education programs with terrific results throughout the year. In fact, throughout the years. In fact, they expanded out to a satellite location out in Pawtuckaville at the old Lowell Elks building, and their numbers continue to grow. So, we need to continue to invest in that at the state level, and particularly we have, significant resources. There are also significant challenges when it comes to education, particularly with the Chapter 70 formula funding, but, continuing to offer, GED classes. We have some great organizations throughout here. UTEC, for instance, they offer a HiSET program. So getting our students educated so they're getting their degree so that they can move on to get jobs. And I agree with Rep. Howard. Lowell, Mass Hire and the Career Center, the Workforce Development Board, working in conjunction with the new businesses that we bring into the city. That's the connections that we need to make. And I believe that we invest in that at the state level, and we'll continue to do that because we need jobs. Kids need jobs, and you have to make that connection these days. And, there are a number of job fairs that Mass Hire and the Career Center offer. They literally go out and, whether it's at the high school or, various other locations, that's important. When it comes to, training, same thing. I'd say one of the best things that the Commonwealth, and I was glad to support, is that we offered free education for those that want to finish their education at community colleges, and we've seen great results that people can go back and then they can gradually move into better positions. So that's the important stuff that we do. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going back to the yes or no questions now, so get your paddle. Massachusetts voters overwhelmingly voted in 2024 to allow the state auditors to audit the legislature. Do you believe the state auditor should be able to audit the House and Senate? Yes or no? Thank you. Do you support the Dignity Not Deportation Act? Yes or no? Thank you. All right, let's get back to the rounds. Each of you have 3 minutes. This time we're going to start with you, Representative Elliott. So, affordable housing and funding. Would you support Senate Act 1937, an act granting a local option for real estate transfer fee to fund affordable housing?
Yes. Can you read that? The
Yes.
question again?
Would you support
I
S 1937, an act of granting a local option for real estate transfer fee to fund affordable housing?
Yes, but those transfer fees, there are some communities that really have advocated for it, and I think that every community should have the option to do that. This is when these are real estate fees that they go into a fund, and we need all the support that we can when it comes to local housing and or developing more local housing. I'm a member of the Lowell Housing Authority. I hear it loud and clear. We see our waiting list get longer and longer. And, Lowell's doing I believe that we're doing our yeoman's share. We have a lot of housing development projects. I can tell you, I sit on a board, Renew. We're in the design phase and hopefully funding phase. We have some good news coming in the next couple of weeks, where there are 2 empty pieces of property we're going to develop into 118 units of affordable housing. Another project out at River's Edge in South Lowell, the 5th phase. We finally passed legislation to finally develop that had sit vacant for almost 10 years. And there's another 32 units of affordable housing. So back to the question, I would support 1937 to support a local option for transfer taxes to be put into a fund for local affordable housing.
Thank you. Right. Representative Howard, would you support Bill S 1937, an act of granting a local option for real estate transfer fee to fund affordable housing?
Not only I support it, I co-sponsored that legislation. Thank you. As you know, rising housing costs are severely impacting our residents, especially here in the gateway cities. And so with over half of our renters and over a third of homeowners spending more than 30% of their income on housing. So yeah, I was proud to sign on to that piece of legislation.
All right, thank you so much, Howard. Going back to the yes or no questions. So, yes or no, do you support the bill Senate 136 Act to improve emergency housing assistance for children and families? Yes or no? Thank you. Next question. Do you support and will advocate for more funding for Priority MA Food Trust Program? Thank you. All right. Let's open any questions. We have 3 minutes to reply. So this is related to first-time home buyers and foreclosure prevention counseling. How do you plan to invest in homeowner education and foreclosure prevention services in cities like Lowell and across the state? Let me repeat the question. How do you plan to invest in homeowner education and foreclosure prevention services in cities like Lowell and across the state? Who would like to start with this question?
Is it me?
Sure. Rep. Elliott, take it away.
This is a good question, something that we need to look at. Foreclosure prevention. I believe there's a number of bills at the legislative level aimed at preventing foreclosure. But the other element is to provide legal defense or a legal defense fund in order to provide those homeowners with legal assistance in order to allow them to learn what the laws are, learn what their rights are. You know, we don't, you know, people go, they struggle and come upon hard times, whether it's a job loss or other family issues. You know, sometimes it's medical issues, and there's got to be a program in order to allow for exceptions, and that will require funding too. But I think legal defense is certainly the first step to prevent the foreclosure. We already have a homeless problem. We don't need to add to that homeless problem because families come on some hard times. So that's how I would go about doing it.
Thank you. Rep. Howard, how do you plan to invest in homeowner education and foreclosure prevention services in cities like Lowell and across the state?
You know, in here, the city of Lowell, the gateway city, we have the Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership that has been giving classes, training for first home buyers, but also to prevent that foreclosure. So this very comprehensive provided by Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership and many other partners in the city of Lowell and outside the city of Lowell, that first-home buyers, to make sure that we move folks from renters to be homeowners, and that's their investment. That's their investment, and folks that even CBA is also offering that. Resiliency program to make sure that they become homeowners, first-time homeowners. And so we do have a great partner in the Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership for more than almost 40 years here to provide that option for renters, because it's more affordable. So we want to move folks from being renters to homeowners, and that is the investment. That is the investment for economic development, for the economy, and so that families and children can survive and thrive and live and have a safe haven to live here in in the city of Lowell, a gateway city, or outside of the city of Lowell. So. Yeah, we are fortunate to have a partnership like Merrimack Valley Housing Partnership, CBA and CTI, and many other partners in the city of Lowell when it comes to first-time home buyers program, but also foreclosure prevention to make sure. And I was proud to vote into the budget of putting $5 million into our legal defense fund.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to get to another round of yes or no questions. Before we start with this question, I would like to read this. The Sunlight Act, which will give at least 1 week of public notice for committee hearings and require electronic posting for all recorded votes. So, do you support the Sunlight Act? Yes or no? Thank you. Next question. Do you support changing the MSBA funding formula so that gateway cities like Lowell's new school will be subsidized at a higher rate? Yes or no? Thank you. Getting to the open-ended questions. So, Rep. Howard, it's your turn now to start. We're going to ask legislative priorities. So if elected, what are the top 3 bills you will prioritize before the end of this year's legislative session, and why?
Well, I thank you, Diego. I mentioned earlier, if I was honored to be your next state senator, my first piece of legislation, this is, again, for economic development, and introduce legislation to make redevelopment of the former Interconference Center right here in downtown Lowell a reality, benefiting Middlesex Community College students and the economy of our area. And number 2, universal pre-K. But last night, if anybody watched Governor's Commonwealth of the State of the Commonwealth, she is going to be doing the giving provide universal pre-K. And that is my bill. That is my bill. So now it's all done. I don't have to do any more. It's perfect. We think alike. So yeah, no, I was so proud to hear that. And the second one that she also said was about the AI, the algorithm to protect our kids, our AI. That was also my bill. And so 2 in a row last night. So yeah, that's a win.
Thank you, Rep.
So
Howard.
there's 3 right there. 2 already knocked off the list.
Rep. Elliott, if elected, what are the top 3 bills you will prioritize before the end of this year's legislative session, and why?
So as I mentioned earlier, affordability is the number one concern that I hear throughout the district. We're in the midst of doing a Chapter 70. Chapter 70 is funding that goes to the communities, and there has been some listening sessions on what is going to take place, but if there's not success, that would be my number one bill. That needs to, we have record number of resources as a result of the millionaire's tax in this state, 2.3 billion. Half of that is specifically for education. So education is number one, to provide relief to cities and towns. There's something wrong with that formula if when we have communities across this Commonwealth laying off 20 and 30 people, during a time when there are record resources. The second thing is the utility cost. The governor touched on it last night a little bit. We signed on to a letter 2 years ago when it comes to the Department of Utilities. There has to be some relief. There has to be some long-term relief. And I have some ideas for legislation that's going to limit the number, the rate increases that these utility companies, who, by the way, are making millions and billions of dollars when, we see, families struggling to pay their utilities bills. So utility is, without a doubt, something that I will file a bill to make sure that there's a relief, long-term relief. We passed my other priority. We passed record, the first time in, I think, 20 years that we passed a tax relief package that provided relief for rental income from $3,000 to $4,000, additional relief for seniors, additional relief for our veterans. We need to continue to move in that direction. Property taxes in the city and property taxes across the state, across the, other communities in this district are astronomical, and it just coincides with affordability. We just can't continue to go in that direction, and communities need tax relief. We did see an increase in local aid. Local aid is, reimbursement to or funding to cities and towns to offset some of the costs. Over the last 20 years, it's gone up slightly, but when you factor in inflation, it's been level funded. So the state needs to, cough up more money to the communities who are doing the work. And we do. There are a lot of great programs, mental health, behavioral services, et cetera, that we invest in, but the communities need support.
Thank you, Elliott. Right, we're getting to the last round of yes or no questions. So the final time that you're going to use your paddle. So first question is like this. Do you support an act establishing a zero carbon renovation fund? Yes or no? Thank you. The questions are in the back. If I mispronounce something.
Yeah, of course.
Next question. Do you support the current law that allows undocumented students in Massachusetts to have access to public higher education, including in-state tuition and state financial? Yes or no? Thank you. All right, and looks like we're going to get time to get to your questions from the public. So the last question from the open end that we have prepared, and then we're moving towards the questions of the public. So this question is based on legislative priorities. So question goes like this. What legislation would you support or pass to make education better in cities like Lowell? Rep. Elliott, would you
Oh,
like
I'm
to
first?
start? The question is, what legislation would you support or pass to make education better in cities like Lowell?
Well, you know, there was a ballot question that I supported that removed the requirements of the MCAS. I think that was an important step to, I still believe that we need some accountability, but, you know, experts and teachers will say, we're teaching to a test, and that's not the intent of a public education, but I think we have a great education system, and we can make it better. And we're doing that, one, with the Student Opportunity Act, where there is a requirement, and that's going to expire, and I'm going to support, you know, extending it because it provides resources that communities need, right? Including health benefits and other benefits to the very people that teach in our classroom. So, you know, we did pass the Fair Share Act, as I mentioned, that provides significant resources. And it goes back to, you know, to make our education system better, we need to support it. And we will continue to do that. I already talked about Chapter 70 and that change. But, you know, the other element that I hear from teachers is we need more behavioral support in the classrooms. We have paras, they provide support, but, you know, teachers have, to some degree, become the frontline, you know, individuals, and they identify issues. So behavioral support, psychology, psychologists, that, you know, that's another service that, resource that we need to fund.
Thank you. Rep. Power? What legislation would you support or pass to make education better in cities like Lowell?
Yes, so when I ran in 2020 for the state rep, I ran, one of the top priorities was to do away MCAS. That was important, and so we need to find another alternative because children learn at a different pace. If MCAS was around when I came to this country at the age of 11, and I was put into 7th grade, learning ABCs in 7th grade. If MCAS was then, I would have been stuck in 7th grade. I would have been still be in 7th grade right now. So, so we need to find alternative for our children, especially in low income, because there is, you know, we should not set more barriers to our children, especially in our low income communities. And so, and I also, legislation, the local aid, the funding formula for our regional, our rural town communities, they don't get the fair share. They don't get the fair share when it comes to school funding. It's 30 years old, the formula. So it needs to be revised. It needs to be revised, and so we need to make sure the work is we're doing it now. It's, you know, the change is coming, and so we hope to make sure that rural and regional communities, the local funding needs to be revised, and so that us, you know, those communities, the school, receive their fair share, but also transportation costs. That's part of it too. Transportation costs for the, here we are in Gateway Cities, we receive our funding, appropriate funding for school, but for the 4 towns, Dracut, Tingsboro, Dunstable, and Pepperell, their local aid, their local funding when it comes to, they do not receive the fair share. So the funding formula needs to be revised, and the funding needs to be increased to keep up with inflation. And it's, and so we need to move that as fast as we can to make sure those 4 towns, those children, especially the special ed costs on transportation as well. So I would support sign on or offer a piece of legislation to make sure that rural and regional communities, suburban communities, receive their fair share when it comes to school funding.
Thank you. All right, before we move on, I would like to recognize Representative Tara Hong, honoring with his presence tonight. Thank you, Rep, for being here. Now, I would like to open up with the public's question, and the first question says, what do you plan to do at the state level about the homelessness issue? Who would like to take that question? Rebellion?
Sure.
Thank you.
At the state level, I can say we provide funding, right? And I think we need to continue to move in that direction. It's not an easy issue. There's a homeless commission that meets regularly in the city, but from the state perspective, it's providing funding, right? I want to say it's close to $1 billion, maybe even a little bit over building for the various programs. We need to continue to support programs like the RAFT program that provide housing for homeless in the winter. Continue to support organizations like the Transitional Living Center and all those organizations that provide support and comfort to the people in the population. Supporting mental health, supporting substance abuse services. Massachusetts, I believe we provide lots of funding because our neighboring communities do not. So what would I do? I would continue to support those programs, important programs. We were just at an opening today, Youth Quake down with VinFen. VinFen, providing those services, before people become homeless, and providing affordable housing. We were at UTEC the other day. They're now providing housing for those individuals who are incarcerated and coming out of incarceration, and that's an important element. So, these are the things that we do. Continue to support housing, but it's support housing with wraparound services, right? That's the model that we're using, and I think that's important. It seems to be working, and it costs money, and we need to fund it. And I'm committed to continue to take those votes in the budget to support the services, to reduce homelessness, eliminate homelessness.
Thank you. Same question, Howard. What do you plan to do at the state level about the homelessness issue?
When we talk about homelessness, I can speak from experience. I lived it. I was homeless as a single mother. It's a complex issue. Many folks became homelessness for a whole host of reasons, whether mental health, whether substance use, or it could be just a paycheck away. Or it could be we haven't kept up with the supply and demand of housing. And so people are being priced out. Housing affordability is now the #1 issue right now. We can't keep up. And so I was proud to testify and voted in support of the Homes Affordability Act that we passed. That was a $5+ billion to help make sure that we keep up with housing production in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. When people think about homelessness, they think, oh, because of mental health, because of substance abuse. Well, I was homeless because I couldn't make a rent. And so it's how you respond. We need to make sure that we help them it's with dignity, with empathy, because behind that someone's homeless out there, it's someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's brother, sister, because I was one of them. And so until we find a solution, until we can keep up with the housing production to make sure that everyone has a place over their head, a roof over their head, then we need the city, we need the town, we need all the voices at the table to come together and come up with a plan to make sure to help our homelessness, our unhoused folks. But at the same time, treat these folks with dignity, with integrity, with empathy and compassion.
Thank you. And I would like to stay with you because the next question, it goes along with what you answer. And how would you address the housing affordability crisis?
So with the Homes Affordability Act that we passed, that was most comprehensive, which the governor's plan, she spoke it last night at her State of the Commonwealth, is that in order to get Massachusetts to live more affordably, we need to produce 200,000+ units. We're getting there. We're getting close. She said last night to almost 200,000 units right now. And so until we hit that goal, and then the other option as well, like accessory dwelling units. You can build by right if you're a homeowner. To also for someone like if I'm a homeowner and I want to add a unit, 900 square footage, by right, so I can stay in place or age in place. So there's so many options under that. So it's the supply and demand. We need to keep up. The reason why we're being priced out, housing is not unaffordable, thank you, sorry. We need to produce more housing. We haven't keep up with the housing production since the early 1990s.
Thank you for the answer, Rep. Howard. Rep. Elliott,
Sure.
same question. How would you address the housing affordability crisis?
So one of the contributing factors to these incredible rent increases from year to year is we have all these corporations buying up property, not only in Massachusetts but across the nation, and that has to stop. So I believe we need legislation to limit the number of units that corporations can buy, because when they have all of these units, they have the ability, to adjust the prices. So I think that would be one important step to bring in rents down or stabilizing rents as well. Second thing is there is rent control. There's a ballot question. There seems to be significant support for that. This would affect the large the large multi-unit property owners. It's not going to affect the individuals that have 1 or 2 or 3 up to 4 units. So this is not to hurt the people that that rent their properties out. So I think I don't know if it's going to pass, but we have to do something, because what we're doing right now, it's really not addressing the affordability of people that want to rent. Yeah, we did increase the rental, as I mentioned earlier, the rental deduction from $3,000 to $4,000. We need to look at that again to continue to allow people to get a tax break, and that's another action. And building more homes, building more affordable units is going to provide some relief. So I think it's a combination of things. I don't think it's there's no silver bullet, but we're committed in Massachusetts. I'm committed as a state rep and state senator. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a member of the Housing Authority, and we see little vacancies, maybe 1%, 2%, every month. The other important element of this is You know, the governor set aside significant resources. I want to say it's almost 280 million to improve public housing and the conditions, because now we get little money to make improvements for capital improvements or simple things which, you know, sometimes the units are not appealing. So those are, you know, examples of how we can bring down affordable housing, and that, you know, that 5.2 billion included not only resources and incentives, including the HDIP program, which provides market rate housing, but at least it is providing, you know, housing. It's incentives for properties that are not going to be developed because they're not affordable. So it's, I think we've got a good strategy going. We're catching up. It's going to take a little time, but Lowell's doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I would like to apologize for those of you who submitted questions. Due to time, we're not going to get to all of them. So we're moving on to the closing statements. And this is the time that I like to tell my students when we're finishing up class, since you fell asleep a little bit, let's just stretch a little bit more. So now you have 4 minutes to gain the audience and get new voters. So each of you will have 4 minutes to close out. So do a knockout, knock it out of the park. And please, Rep. Howard, would you like to start with your closing remarks?
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here again tonight. Thank you to all the partners. And I want to thank my colleague, Rep. Elliott, here for being here tonight. And this is what democracy looks like. So again, thank you for coming out on a Friday night. This is a Friday night to be here. And so, and thank you to our moderators. I understand, not only I understand, I share the struggles of what everyone is going through, especially now at this time, what's happening in local level, at the state level, and even at the national level. It is every single day when you turn on the news, it's always something. It's scary. It is chaos. It is, as a refugee, as a genocide survivor, what I'm seeing across our country is, to many of us survivors, we're reliving the trauma. We're afraid. We no longer trust our neighbor anymore. This is not the United States of America. The United States of America provided me and my family and many that came before me, that paved the way, that set the foundation for me to be where I am today, where my son went to Low High, now he's in the workforce, where my daughter, who's mentally and physically challenged, but able to survive and thrive. And whether I'm a state representative or a state senator, I'm bringing everyone with me to the State House so that every voices, everyone come to the table and we fight for another day, because this is what America has done for me and my family. This is what America has done for so many of us that came before me. It takes a local election officials, it takes a state official, it takes national officials, it takes all of us to make sure that the quality of life for everyone is met. And with my lived and work experience, this is my life. This is my purpose to giving back, because this country, this community has given me and my family everything, the best education, the best community in this community, and that's all I want to do, just giving back. I want to help, and that's all I want to do. So thank you so much for being here tonight, for being here with us, for taking your time to be here, and to together, collectively, collective action, we can make things better. And that's all we want to do, just to make things better for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Howard. Rep. Elliott, you have 4 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to everyone, and thank you to my colleague as well, Representative Howard. It's an honor to serve in elective office. You're humbled. I'm humbled when the voters place their trust in me. I'm running for the state senate as one who has served at the local level. I was honored to be the mayor of this great city and meet so many wonderful people before and after. I'm proud to be born in this city, to be raised in this city. My grandparents were workers in the mills, and I have deep roots here, and I raised my family here, and I feel I've been part of the revitalization of the city for so many years. We've made great progress, and we have more progress to continue. I'm proud of my accomplishments as a city councilor, but also as a state representative. I'll continue to work to make the city a great city in every single neighborhood, and the towns. You know, the towns are part of this district. I've been out to all of the towns, been to the town meetings, the select board meetings. So my point is we have to listen, and I think I do that best. I listen and I act, and you know, that's the role of a city councilor. Returning phone calls, returning every phone call, get back to people. People, when they call us, they get to the point where they're exasperated with local or state government. And I feel proud that I'm able to help and cut through the red tape for basic things like people unemployment. You know, register your motor vehicles. They can't get a license. They can't drive. They can't get a job. So I think that's an integral part of being a state official, and that's an important service that we need to continue to provide. You know, we're living at a time where we have a federal government that are cutting basic needs like health care, cutting basic needs like SNAP benefits. We have people in our neighborhoods that are living in fear, and that's wrong. I don't support it. You know, at the state level, I remember the Ways and Means, we're filling these gaps. So whatever the federal government is trying to do to hurt people, we're stepping up. We're stepping up in Massachusetts, whether it's the Affordable Care Act, credits, or SNAP benefits. You know, the governor reported last night, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is in fiscally stable situation, and we are fiscally strong. And that's going to continue with the resources from the Fair Share Act, from, you know, the economic development that we do, investing in life sciences, investing in manufacturing and chips and bioscience. We're a great state, and we're going to survive this despite what's going on in Washington. So I respectfully ask for your support on February 3rd. I feel I'm an effective individual, effective leader that'll continue to work on your behalf with every community as I have as a city councilor. And I thank you for your time and your consideration. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Before we conclude, I would like to invite our CEO of CBA, Dan Rivera, to close it out and give the time score.
How about a round of applause for Diego up here doing it? It ain't easy. It ain't easy. And especially another round of applause for the candidates. They could have been doing so many other things. Not that this is important, but they have their own strategy. So to be here and talk to the families that this is all going to go out to an LTC, all that stuff, I really appreciate it. I think it's a reflection on the great democracy that we live in, that on a Friday night this room is full. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that. So I'm hoping you have to be patient with me, and we can have the candidates come out and shake hands in front of this, and everybody can stand up so they can see how big of a crowd we have here on Friday night. Take a nice picture, because you know if it doesn't put on the social, people don't believe it, even though we know it happened. So if you can do that for me, and then we'll just thank you. And of course, not to forget the people that sponsor us. We're a NeighborWorks organization, CBA, Lowell Alliance, Diego's organization, LCCE. Lowell Votes is our coalition. Mosaic Lowell, who brought us all those great questions about the arts community. CMAA, and of course, the Merrimack Valley Project, who really all of us were born from. And so we're really thankful for everybody to be here. So thank you so much for being here. So if you guys can all just stand up, we can have the candidates in front. We'll take a quick picture. Is that okay? guys get closer. You guys get closer. Right here. Over to the left. All right. Get in there.
For us.
At some point, you can shake hands. You don't have to take it for a long time. You gotta be careful.
All right, on three, this is the big